Alright, hey everybody, this is Phoenix Flight here from the Mechabellum Discord. We're going to be reviewing Desupa player versus Corona Elf. This person put this replay in the Mecha Discord and wanted some feedback, so let's take a look here. As for my credentials on this coaching, I am about a 1650-ish MMR player, just crossed 126,000 combat power, which squeaks me in just barely into the top 100 in the world, so I'm really happy with that. And yeah, this is my first time doing a formal replay review. Looking to give this a shot and see if I can, help everybody especially at the lower MMRs, get better at this game, whether it be the fundamentals or, your mid-range MMRs trying to clean up any smaller issues. All right, so we are Rhino Specialist. It's a very interesting specialist, the fact that they don't get their bonus all the way until round 4. And then with Rhino Special, there's a couple ways you can play it. You could either maybe sell the Rhino right away for a quick cash injection. You can keep the Rhino. You can bait the Rhino by, like, say, placing the Rhino, using it until the opponent counters it, and then quickly sell out of it before making a big investment. All right, so we're starting off with callers, marksmen, and crawlers. Pretty solid setup. And then we know we are going into a giant specialist here, a Corona Elf on the red side, with arc lights and balls we're showing, but we got crawlers coming up. Should not be too surprising that the opponent's going to pick chaff in the first round when no chaff is offered. It looks like you're just microing where exactly you want each of the units, playing around with it here. Okay, marksman in front of caller is a little interesting, but it's not a huge deal. All right, I don't think there's going to be too much to say about round 1, so let's just kind of speed through this here. I mean, round 1's round 1. It's not really all that consequential in the grand scheme of things. All we're doing in round 1 is setting up a board that can handle a little bit of everything and is versatile. Like it can... So we can kind of pivot into any other strategy as the cards and free units later come on out. So let's put on some music here as well. Some lo-fi beats to relax to. All right, we got a slow end of the round here with the last ball. All right, first round, we'll take it. Nothing to write home about. All right, round 2. Let's take a look at. Oh, we get the units already. So let's pause and take a look at these options. All right, Mustangs could be a good option as long as you can keep them away from the arc lights. I like the idea of, let's see how many. It's 1 level 2 Stang. I like the idea of putting one of the Stangs in the corner here and then the other one over here. So not only does it provide long-range chaff clear once you give it range, it also discourages flanking on the side, especially like, say, a cheeky crawler play here or a wasp flank as well. It would discourage both of those and clear out that chaff as well. So double use there. Scorpions, awesome at dealing with the balls, so that's certainly an option too. Sledgehammers, not my first pick into this board, but it can totally be done. If you are going to go sledges, though, make sure that they're going to be vertically placed like this, just because when you're going into steel balls in particular, if they are vertical, the steel balls can only attack one sledge at a time in the long line. Unlike when they're in a horizontal line like this, they can attack all of them simultaneously and quickly wipe out the tanks. Fangs in the back here. Level 3 fangs are interesting. They're kind of a bait. It can be done, but you have to be very careful. If you're going to do the level 3 fangs, I would put them in the back similar to the Mustang idea, except vertical. So they would discourage flanks, especially from, say, a cheeky wasp play later in the game. And then also they would arrive late, so ideally after these arc lights and most of the crawlers have already been killed off, all of a sudden the level 3 fangs are arriving and providing some serious nuisance to these steel balls just wasting their time on these small units. All right, so let's take a look and see how we go about this. Okay, we're going for the double level 3 fangs. How are we going to use them? Okay, it looks like we're putting them up in the front. So this is a bit of a misplay, because if we take a look here, your fangs, even at level 3, have only 351 health, right? If I take a look at the level 1 arc lights over here, they're doing 391 damage per shot. So therefore, even at level 1, these arc lights are still one-shotting all of these fangs. So if you want to have fangs in front, which you should want some fangs in front. It's totally normal, standard play to help protect these marksmen and stormcallers from, say, missile abuse and whatnot. You'd be better off saving your money and putting just level 1 fangs in the front, unless you want late chaff arriving later. Ooh, speaking of flank, looks like we may have a little bit of a cheeky flank play early, all the way on round 2. Oh, never mind. Opponent was just teasing it, put the back. So yeah, the opponent also went for the level 3 fangs. I get it from the opponent's perspective. He's probably noticed that there's a deficiency in the chaff clear right now. As we can see here, the crawlers are getting in. The arc light is one-shotting the fangs. So this is a sign to me that the chaff clear needs to improve. Like, the crawlers should not be getting in as easily as they are. But it looks like we may still win this round anyway. It kind of depends on the tower timings and whatnot. Looks like just a few more fangs. Okay, it's going to be a slow end to round 2 here, so let's just speed it up here. Got 3 commando fangs with a dream. Alright, there we go. That's the end of round 2. So yeah, I'm thinking chaff clear in this moment. Either arc lights, if fire badge, or no, can't have fire badges offered to serve. Alright, let's take a look at these cards. One moment, let me hide this. Oh, you already went for underground threat. But let's take a look. Shield airdrop makes no sense because you're already going into balls. They would wipe out the shield in no time. Underground threat, totally okay. Depends on where you place it. Mass-produced Overlord, debatable if it really makes sense this early on. Your Overlords would be pretty strong into this board, but they're just asking to be countered. There's an argument for it, for sure. Barrier, it really depends on your play style if you want to go for giants early or not. But obviously, you're going up against a giant specialist, so you should expect him to most likely pick barrier. Okay, so we're selling the crawlers that were in the back here. That's that second wave. And what are we going to do with the extra money? We have 650 to play with. Interested to see how this goes down. Okay, so we're going for elite recruitment. Okay, upgrading the marksman. That's fine. Okay, opponent did go for barrier like anticipated, given it's a giant specialist, and it's for a giant item. Okay, so we're going for 2. So we sell 1 set of level 1 crawlers to be able to afford 2 level 2 crawlers, and they're in the back a little bit off to the sides, but not all the way back. So I do like the idea of having some later arriving chaff. That's awesome. However, I would recommend, especially if you're going to have leveled crawlers, put them all the way in the back corner so that they arrive very late. The idea being is hopefully all or most of the chaff clears are dead by the time these higher level crawlers arrive and really cause a problem for the steel balls of the world. So yeah, and then the middle crawler drop, totally fine, nothing wrong with that at all. I maybe would have done it in the back because it looked wide open to me. He was kind of begging for the towers to get attacked from the back, but I get it for playing safe. If you were anticipating him doing his own crawler drop, totally understand. But I would have been a risk. I would have been I don't know. There's multiple schools of thought on it. because you had the crawlers here and you got rid of them, so you discouraged him from placing the crawlers drop here, but you probably knew he was going to pick barrier anyway as a giant special. Anyway, pretty okay round. Obviously, these overlords are going to be a problem for round 1. But you get that last second shot to get the kill. Pretty sweet. And here comes the Rhino drop round. So this should be your big swing round. Let's take a look at these items. Okay, you went really fast. You picked the haste module. Let's take a look at these other ones really quickly. Extended Rage Sledge makes no real impact for you. Assault Vulcan, I would not be a fan. I mean, you do need the chaff clear, yes, but in a standard versus standard layout like this, and by that I mean there's no aggro player, like there's no person right up on the line or stacking one side versus the other trying to go for a quick tower kill. Anything that reduces range is something you got to be really cognizant of. So I would say no to Assault Vulcan in this case. In standard versus standard, you need to match or exceed the range of your opponent, because if he's getting the shots off first, your army is in trouble. Missile Strike could be totally usable, maybe to, kill these backline crawlers or these balls. Yeah, it's a 5,000 damage missile, I believe. Let me quickly double check. That's 3,000 damage, so it would not kill the balls. So actually, it would just be for the crawlers, so it would be an okay option. Yeah, haste module's fine. It just depends what you would do it on. I would maybe... Okay, anti-air and the marksman, love it. Great play. Especially with the overlords. I would maybe... It's either that or range first. There's a couple schools of thought on it I won't go into here. But you're definitely going to want to pick up range later at some point. Haste module and the marksman, this is definitely a misplay. So haste module is best on either really speedy units to increase their speed, as this increases their speed by 5 meters a second, or units that have a lot of small attacks. Like, say, the classic would be like a Mustang, because it shoots so frequently for so little. So it's getting that 40% over and over and over really quickly. Also, like sledgehammers, so they can push in quickly while doing more damage. If you're going to use the haste module, I would put on the Rhino, which I see you actually already upgraded with, teched into Whirlwind. So we're investing in this Rhino right away, believing in the Rhino. I'd be scared of the steel balls and the overlords, but you could maybe do a... Okay, looks like you... Did you sell the Rhino? Okay, no, Rhino's over here. Anyway, oh, nope, ooh. Okay, so we invested in Whirlwind on the Rhino and then sold it immediately. I hope it was just a misclick or something. I'm not quite understanding what the deal is with that, because if we're putting a tech on a unit, that's really a sign that we're committing to it long term. Range on the Stormcallers, totally reasonable pick. I'm not really sure what's going on with that Rhino stuff, unfortunately. I hope that was just an honest mistake. Because what we could have done is maybe, especially with Whirlwind, Rhino in the middle, and then do like an L shape to one of the towers with the mobile beacon. And then you could sell the Rhino next turn, and then move that haste module onto another unit. Anyway, looking at this battle, we see here, crawlers are still getting pretty close to the marksman. See, the crawlers are getting into the marksmen, so this is a sign to me the chaff clear is not up to par. We need to make sure that these marksmen, as our big, heavy damage units, are not dealing with these little fangs and crawlers getting in their way. So we need to respect the crawlers and the fangs more. We need to be able to clear them out earlier so that our marksmen can get their job done. But yeah, let's quickly fast forward here. This is going to be a loss, but it won't be too bad. Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate as the Rhino specialist to take a big loss on round 4. Okay, let's take a look at these cards here. Subsidized Crawler makes no sense. Your crawlers aren't getting kills. Range specialists in standard versus standard, like I was saying last round, range matters. Range advantages win games in a standard versus standard. So this would be my #1 pick. Laser sights could be totally reasonable if you're thinking range specialist is just too expensive. Just make sure you have to put it on whatever your most effective long range unit is, if that's the case. Underground threat, if you're gonna do it, again, like I said before, you got to put it in the back here. He's got no answer for it right now, and I mean, he does have the Vulcan, but the Vulcan's gonna be like maybe here or so by the time it comes out in the back, and it'll distract his balls. Maybe, kind of depends. But point is, he hasn't upgraded his tower's defense. It would cause trouble for sure. Because delaying his units would make his front line a little weaker. Okay, we're going into melting point. Totally and going into range right away. Typically don't want to put a tech on just one unit, but this is one of the rare cases. Oh, and we're pushing and getting temp range. A little scary to be taking a loan this early in the game when we have this much health. You're typically only going to be taking a loan this early unless there's like some absolutely critical tech and you're like 100 supply short for it, and it would make a huge swing round. I'm not seeing that in this instance. But I do like the melting point. You're going to need it for, I mean, you're going against a giant specialist. You know he's going to build giants. Oh, and interesting, he went for the Assault Vulcan, so he wants more HP, more speed, but lower range. That lower range could be absolutely devastating if you can exploit it properly with quality long-range attacks. Okay. Let's see here. What are we going to use our last, was it 100 on? Yeah, we have 100 supply left. Okay, another anti-air marksman. Yeah, this is okay, but again, where is the chaff clear? Where are our arc lights? Where are... even like a flame upgrade on these Stormcallers would make a significant difference in how this plays out. See, because look, the Melter, he's getting stuck on these crawlers. He's going to be stuck on them for a little while here. But you did push, and you took temporary range. Opponent did not take a loan, so it should be no surprise that you're going to win this round, but your opponent's got some more long-term potential, for sure, by having an economic advantage going into round 6. But hey, take the win, take the health hit. Alright, round 6. Alright, what are we looking at here? Scorps. You already have some heavy hitters. Don't really need them. Fire Badgers are, I wouldn't say like the absolute certain pick, but it's certainly my number one here. 2 level 3 Fire Badgers in the right spots would absolutely be massive for clearing out all the chaff that's bothering your marksmen, callers, and now the Melter. Sandworm could be okay. It wouldn't be my number one pick, but if you could get creative with it, with maybe some sandworms in the back corners that come in late. And then Sabertooth, I don't really see a use for a Sabertooth in this situation unless it's just to sell them for some Saber cash. Oh, nice. Great job. Absolutely the right play in this circumstance. Also wondering what your opponent's doing, just holding on to these laser sights, not using them yet. I'm a little concerned from your opponent. That's a misstep on your opponent's side. Okay, looks like we're going into more marksmen. I think we got plenty of marksmen by now. At this point, I'm thinking chaff clear again. I don't want to be super repetitive, but we have enough single target damage in the Melter, the marksman, the Stormcallers. They're doing great at that. What we need is just something that deals with the chaff properly. Opponent going into Mothership, pretty solid play, for sure. You don't have a great answer to Wasps right now. I mean, you do have some Fangs, but they're dying. Actually, these ones are getting some work done, but we'll see. We will see. If you had some like late Fangs to deal with the Wasps, that would be awesome as well. Alright, let's see how this plays out. Yeah, see the crawler, yeah. Not nearly as bad as before, especially because these are high-level fire badgers. They really can clear them out pretty quickly. Yeah, this is much better than the rounds prior, but I'm sure you can acknowledge that you can see these wasps distracting the marksmen and melters are going to be a problem. So we need to be able to address them next turn. Let's just speed up the end of this round here. Just speed it up here. Okay, some more damage coming in. Round 7. What do we have here? Alright, let's slow it down. Acid Blast doesn't really make sense because he only has one ground giant. He's going pretty heavy into the boats right now. Mobile Beacon, you could do something creative with it. I'm not really seeing it right now. I mean, you could have had like a Rhino play earlier, like I was saying, with the left or right hook, but with these boats in the middle, that's going to shut that down. Strike Specialist could be pretty interesting if you want to do some crazy wasp play, or we're starting to see fire badgers in the corner pretty regularly as well to distract, but with these steel balls here, they would take out those no problem. So if you want to go Strike Specialist and do some like wasp play and then a mobile beacon going directly to one of the towers, that could be an option to just throw him off his game and then either sell the wasp or use jump drive if you jump drive your wasps. Fortified Hacker, no real benefit to the Fortified Hacker. So I would, okay, you skip, totally reasonable to skip on this. None of those were totally amazing for you. Shield Fangs, I like the idea of the Shield Fangs. Oh, and the Anti-Air Mustangs. You're respecting the Wasps. I like that. And you're putting them way in the back. Nicely done. So not only is it respecting the Wasps that come out of here, you're also cognizant of Strike Specialists and realizing the Wasps could be placed down here. So you need something to defend those flanks in the back. Yep. Enemy. Yeah, he picked the Acid Blast, putting it in a perfect spot. I mean, it would be nice to shield it. If this isn't totally the most predictable option, so I don't blame you on this one. But this could be pretty devastating for really taking your melter out of the round here. Okay. Long-range Vulcan is going to be a problem for your chaff, for sure. But yeah, Shield Fangs into Vulcan, not great. I would have probably gone range first if I had to upgrade my Fangs to just keep them away from the Vulcan. Make the Vulcan with that range disadvantage, in particular from Assault Vulcan, make it come to you. So, got that. Anything else going on here? Yeah, Stangs in the back. Yeah, see this guy with the haste module, he's not really doing much. So, if anything, I'd consider, maybe I should turn on the game a little bit. But yeah, I would consider maybe even selling that marksman and moving the haste module over to one of these Mustangs. One of the Mustang packs would make much better use of the haste module. But as we can see here, Mustangs, they're too far in front right now. They need additional range. Mustangs benefit from staying in the back, getting away from danger, picking off little targets from afar, and just absolutely shredding wasps and fangs. But yes, I do love the Mustang pickup. You are respecting the wasps, rightfully so. Okay, let's just speed up the round here. Okay. Okay, going into round 8. Okay, Let's slow this. Let me put this on pause for a moment. And then actually... Oh, wow, that's a bug. Yeah, anti-interference makes no sense. It's either tech specialist, strike specialist, or skip. Like I said, with the last turn with strike specialist, you could try something funny on the side and then sell out of it or jump drive. Elite wasp. Oh, it goes for the elite wasps and borrows and goes for temporary range. Not understanding the wasp pick because you already have these Mustangs you're investing into. That, I mean, their job is to deal with wasps and be a secondary option for the overlords anyway. So I don't really see what role... Oh, and they're going into anti-air. Okay. Yeah, I don't... And range. Oh my. It's really a believer in the carry wasps. So I'm not really understanding the need for both the wasps and the Mustangs. It would have been more efficient to pick one anti-air option for light units instead of two, and splitting the technologies accordingly. And then also, like I said, this marksman here, only 7,000 damage in the round, not great. I would sell this guy, move this haste module onto probably one of these wasps now that we're rolling with level 3 wasps. See the all right, yeah, another crawler swarm doing okay. Now it's a little bit too late to do a cheeky rear crawler swarm. He's closed that up. It's too late. All right, here we go. Round 8. Let's take a look here. Yeah, no denying. I mean, your wasps, they're doing a great job, but it just seems like they could have been invested into the Mustangs and essentially done the same thing for less money, and then you could have spent your other money elsewhere. Yeah, now he's just going to completely overrun you with overwhelming numbers of boats and wasp spawns. See, this is when like a second wave of chaff of like some late fangs arriving right about now would help, because it would be distracting this later in the round. Okay, so let's speed this up. Yeah, this is going to be a problem with the tower going down. Are you going to steal this one? You steal the round. Hey, all right, we'll take it. Considering you were dealing with acid over here, that's pretty good. All right, let's take a look at these unit choices. We got Double Wraith, Typhoon, Sandworm, or War Factory. Wraith, they are going to get absolutely destroyed by the boats. I don't see a place for Wraiths in this setup. Typhoons, you really don't need a third option to deal with the wasps. You already have Mustangs, already have wasps of your own. There's really no need for a Typhoon. War Factory is certainly an option. Maybe you could put a War Factory in the back with Phoenix production, maybe, just to throw him off his game. I don't know. There's some schools of thought on this one. And Sandworms, again, I would do like late Sandworms in the back here if you want to do Sandworms. Just because, I don't know, this doesn't really seem like a Sandworm board. I mean, it's kind of too late to try something crazy aggro play at this point. Because if you put them too far forward, the boats will just completely annihilate them with their Overlord artillery. With the Utters of Doom, as I've heard them called a few times. Alright, let's speed her. Oh, we went for the Double Wraith. Okay, and the temp range. And, okay, we're finally getting the second of the simple upgrades. It's fine. Okay, alright, if at least we're putting the Wraiths in the back. So they can be like some some chaff clear option from the sky. And at least they stay a little further back. Again, I think there's still better options. All right, upgrading the Stangs, that's fine. Crawlers in the middle. All right, opponent went War Factory right up the middle. Obviously, you don't see this yet, but this is just asking for a melting point right here with some fangs in front to protect it. to just absolutely wipe this guy out in no time at all. Alright. And then... yeah. So we go temporary range. Yeah, by round 9, you should be doing temporary range pretty much guaranteed. It's worth so much at this point in the game. So great play, getting the temp range. Worth every penny at this point. Alright, let's take it. Quite a lot going on now, but looks like you're going to take down the War Factory. No problem. You have enough. It's not. You've had plenty of carry, single target, heavy hitter units all game long. It's just been the chaff and chaff clear were the problems, but they've since been addressed. Plus, this isn't like a high tempo round. You would, you know, you dealt with the acid earlier. You got the win. So, well done there. Main thing, like I said, is really be cognizant of the chaff clear. Make sure you have a second wave of chaff coming in late, maybe even third, depending on the game. Maybe no third wave in this case, given the Vulcan situation. And then, yeah, you did all right. The Rhino play, that was really questionable. I would need an explanation on that. I assume it was just an honest mistake, though. I totally get it. We've all been there, you know. I mean, I'm at 300 hours. I've had my share of mistakes to get here as well. All right. Thank you for submitting. I hope you found something educational from this, and I'll get better at this over time. This is my first stab ever at trying to make some sort of educational video for this game. Thanks for your time. See ya. Phoenix Flight out.